Hey guys, so I'm watching this pay-per-view. It's Chip and Tony playing. I have this problem with pay-per-views almost all the time where the audio of the commentating guy gets out of sync with what's going on. Usually, easier for me to say, the guy's already shot, and then like 2 or 3 seconds later, the commentator will go, "I think he's going to shoot this." It's out of sync. Tonight it's the other way around. The commentator is like way ahead of then what actually happens. He'll go, "Oh, he dogged that shot," and then a few seconds later on the screen you'll see the guy dogged the shot. It's very frustrating. So I end up just muting it. Well, plus I'm making the video, for you. So, and then there's some commentators I just don't like listening to. But in this case, it's just, I have this thing where they get out of sync. So it's Friday night now. I'm a couple of days into my shooting with the Tascarella exclusively to basically see how used to it I can get. Is it a good cue? Is it kindling? It's definitely not kindling. It's definitely a good cue. And so I'll just keep going with it. One thing that I have found though, this has got the triangle tip on it. I did put a triangle on it. I'm not sure what was on it, but I'd mentioned in another video that I'm at least going to try the triangle tips and just see it. Yeah, it's a fine tip. I actually even did a pretty decent job of putting it on, and it's only mushroomed a little bit, which is expected. So it'll need at least one more trimming. It's really nice to be able to put a tip on that is already dome shaped. And all I had to do was basically just round it off a little bit more than it already was. Saved me tons of time. So that was cool. I like the triangle tips enough, as a matter of fact, that I've gone ahead and I'm putting one on my Southwest. It's in the lathe right now. The glue's drying right now. Speaking of the Southwest, one of the things that I just have to confess is that I have not shot with this Tascarella exclusively since I got it back. I shot with it quite a bit, but I've also put it down and picked up the Southwest and played with it. Obviously, I'm more used to the Southwest. It seems like it took me a long time. Oops, that was a good shot. It seemed like it took me a long time to get used to it. And there's probably still some more to do on that front. It probably is always. You're always going to get a little bit more used to whatever you're doing, whatever you're using. But there's something about that Southwest for me that I haven't experienced with any other cue. And I'm not talking about this weird street cred obsession I have with Southwest. That's certainly there. But guess what? This is a damn Tascarella. So it's a tie in that category as far as I'm concerned. But there's something about that cue that once I got used to it, or as close as I am anyway, it's like I'm drawn to that cue. I remember asking Tony last year. I asked him if Southwest was a sponsor. He shoots with the Southwest. Everybody knows that. And he said no, but I'm married to him. And I didn't press him, and he didn't explain what the hell that meant. But I think I might be starting to understand what the hell that meant. Just a familiarity. The Southwest plays differently. I think it has an awful lot to do with the taper of the shaft. And I noticed it right off the bat when I got my cue last July. I noticed right off the bat, well, yeah, this feels weird. This feels different than anything else I've ever shot with. That's one of the things that's taken me quite a while to get used to. Is that difference, that different feeling. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's different. And I'm really starting to think that that may be one of the ways that Southwest sucks people in. Is they know once they get past that hump of getting used to that weirdness, then everything else is going to feel weird. And I think that's what's happening to me. I think that's what happened. I think that is what has happened. You didn't know I knew that shot, did you? I think I have gotten familiar enough with that difference that a Southwest gives that now I'm like, I'm not going to say anywhere. I'm not going to say everything else feels weird, but I don't shoot as well with everything else as I do with the Southwest. It's done that much for me anyway. That's a really good angle. Did you see that shit? I knew that was going to happen. So, yeah, I'm going to keep shooting with this cue. This cue still may end up being my main cue. It is the closest that any cue has come to unseating the Southwest. I can't say that it plays any better. Certainly can't say it plays any worse. It's got a fantastic hit. Probably hits a little bit better than my Southwest right now. But I'm getting the triangle tip on the Southwest. I don't know how much of a good solid hit is the tip. I'm sure it's involved in there. So we're going to find out. I'm going to compare this with the triangle to the Southwest with the triangle. This is mostly just like, subconscious comparing. I'm not getting out scientific equipment and calculators and slide rules and abaci, whatever. I'm not doing that. I'm just hit some balls and see what happens and see what I think. The other thing is, that shot just reminded me, this cue does squirt more than almost anything I have. The only cue that I can think of that I own that squirts more than this is my McDermott D21. And my McDermott D21 is just way off the charts as far as squirt goes. I don't know why, but it is. This one does squirt quite a bit. It's clearly something I could get used to. I'm not particularly worried about that. I know that eventually I would get used to squirt characteristics I always had before. So the way that I'm trying to warm up, or not warm up, to get used to this thing, is kind of what you're seeing me do. I'm shooting shots, I'm shooting most shots hard, I'm shooting most shots with English. It's not the way that I normally would play necessarily. Normally I would think I would be a little bit more conservative in my shot selections and things like that. I stay a lot on the vertical axis when I'm just regularly shooting. But you don't learn anything by being up nice and close, shooting on the vertical axis. You don't learn anything about a cue when you do that. I don't learn anything about a cue when I do that. But when I do want to learn something, I can take a longer bridge. I can always be putting some kind of side spin on the shot and just let my subconscious go, okay, you got that much draw. It was too much draw, by the way. And just doing stuff like that. That's how I try to get used to any new cue, and how I try to get my inner pool player used to any new cue. I don't like missing those almost straight in shots, but I do it all the time. You'd think I need to work on it, practice it a little better. But don't. No, I can make it, but then I can't get any draw. So you got to pick one, Dave. Make the shot or get the draw. I think most people would probably choose to make the shot. I don't know. It's already Friday. I'm trying to plan out my vacation, which I probably won't get one. But just in case, what do I want to do? Do I want to go back down to New Orleans? I probably will. I enjoyed it last year quite a bit. I feel like I have some other things that I could learn from Tony. Of course, he has a lot he could teach me, but it's whether I'm capable of learning it. That's kind of the question, you know. Or I may pick some other totally random place and go there. I could even consider going back to Omaha for a while. I think some of my friends from Omaha are still alive. It's been a long time since I lived there. That shot right there was a little bit of like one of the hit tests that I use. Very slight angle, hit that right in the vertical axis, and just see how much energy got transferred to that cue ball. That wasn't quite as much as I wanted. Obviously, I would like to roll to here. That would have been ideal, but it's still pretty damn good. This is a good, solid hitting cue that I'm not going to complain about. I don't think I could have done any better with anything except maybe one of my peach hours. The peach hours are all great as far as hit goes. I need to do is set aside a day and just do nothing but make YouTube videos and then space them out to be released every 3 or 4 days, because I don't like having these gaps. I don't like it. But every time I've come down here to try to do anything, something's happened at work, and I've had to stop and then go back and work some more. I need to get a bunch of videos stacked up. I have some ideas, but I'm just whining. You know, yes, I am glad I have a job, but sometimes I wish I had a little bit of a less stressful job. Sometimes, all the time, I wish I had a little bit of a less stressful job. This cue definitely squirts a lot, and I can tell more, and it makes sense. I can tell more, like on the maximum English type of shots. One of the shots that I'll shoot is like this ball all the way down there. It's in the cue ball around the table. This is with like maximum bottom right, and I shoot it often enough that I kind of know what I have to do to make it. Like with my Southwest, and with this cue, I have to aim more to the right, even more to the right, and kind of count on that squirt and let that squirt be a part of the shot to get the proper cut angle. I don't know, was I going to say anything else? Probably not. This was just supposed to be a little stupid update, and I guess it is. I am really liking the Tascarella a lot. I put a triangle tip on it. I like the triangle tip a lot. I like it so much I'm putting one on my main, what is currently my main cue, my Southwest. And dick around with those tips, dick around with this. You know, after a while I'll have to make a decision, I believe, and it's going to be, is this my main, or do I continue to, be married to a Southwest? And right now, it almost might be a wash for me right now. I'm not entirely sure that I care. Maybe I'm married to the Southwest, but I'm having an affair with the Tascarella. Or maybe I'm
taking the analogy too far?